Hi guys and welcome back. Today I am working on a painting that I am so excited to show you guys. It's based off of a classical motif in art that I find absolutely fascinating. It perfectly aligns with what I like to paint, so I was very excited to create a painting specifically around this concept. I was looking at panels to add to my collection for me to paint, and I like to get shaped panels every once in a while. They create a new challenge, they're fun to work with, and I saw on Trekell's website that they had these coffin shaped panels for a limited time. I don't think they're available right now, just a forewarning. They usually have them around Halloween time, but they had them pop up for just a couple of days, I think last month, and usually I don't really get a spark of interest for working on coffin-shaped panels. For some reason, it just doesn't really click with me, even though I like to work with really creepy motifs, so it seems like it would, but it's never really quite struck my fancy. But this time, when I saw it, I just instantly got the image of a painting in my head, and that almost never happened. So I knew I had to act on it. I had to get the panel, I had to make it a reality. But that was a really exciting moment. Small side note, I have been working harder on trying to develop my ideation of paintings before I start working on them. I can dig into that a little bit more, but the fact that I was able to just like connect and think of an image that was inspired by that felt like progress, so that was really exciting. But let's get talking about the motif that I'm working on today. So this concept is called Death the Maiden, very simply, which is what I'm naming this painting. But this painting idea or motif that actually shows up in a lot of different artistic forms in paintings and poems, songs, music. It originated from what I have been able to find in the very early 1500s. So it's been around for a very long time. There's been so many different renditions and iterations of this concept, and it's come into fashion several times over the hundreds of years since its inception. But it is perfectly aligned with the things that I find really inspiring, and I just don't know how to describe it. The things that really spark my connection and interest with the paintings that I'm creating. So I knew that I wanted to dig into this concept once I have known about it for a while, but I can't remember what exactly it was that I was reading that reacquainted me with just this very simple approach to this motif, and I had already had that idea of what I wanted to put in this coffin-shaped panel, and it perfectly aligned with this. I knew that I wanted to have a female character in the front and a death-like figure behind her, and I wanted there to be a certain amount of intermingling and of the shapes between the two, and her hair and his cloak, and it perfectly aligned, again, like I said, with the Death and the Maiden motif. So I wanted to do a little bit more research on that and fit this painting into that. Oh, and a very quick side note, this is available at my shop, so if you'd like to get the original painting, there is a link down in my description, and it is just ready to hang. It has a very special presence, which I think is very exciting. The fact that it's this coffin-shaped canvas that goes right onto your wall. I also have prints available as well in 2 different sizes, so that'll be linked down in the description. If you're interested, it'll take you over to my shop. And I highly recommend that you go look up some paintings that are around Death and the Maiden concept. Like I said, there have been many, many paintings over the years, and some of them are my absolute favorite paintings of classical times. There's just so much beauty and emotion in them, and there's just a subtlety to the way that many of the figures are painted. Some of them are a little bit more gruesome, but I love some of these paintings. So if you haven't really been acquainted with this concept or looked into these paintings, I really think that you'd get a lot out of it. There's just a lot of beauty in this wave of paintings. And this is, again, a kind of theme that I love to address in my work often. The dichotomy of these polar opposite elements within a painting. So like this, Death and the Maiden, that really does kind of distill down to like life and death. And I love showing shadow and light and bright colors and black and just these very warring elements that can come together to create something that's really contrasted and sharp. So yeah, this theme, it's just like it marries all the things that I'm really interested in. And by no means is this the first time that I feel like I've approached this concept or that it's novel or new for what I'm working on. There have been many times over the years where I've done a piece that honestly you could imagine that I would have said that it was inspired by this concept. So again, it's nothing new per se, but it is a more focused approach to this for me. And this will absolutely not be the last painting that I do with this motif. I really would like to make a take that has a little bit more of a human-looking death figure. There are some paintings that I found in my research that I thought was just absolutely amazing that had this chemistry almost between the Reaper character and the Maiden character, and I would like to create a painting that has a little bit of that has almost a romantic air between the two of them. So that might be not too long in the future, maybe. I've been thinking about how I would like to portray that kind of connection between the two characters. So that one might be one that I can think and dream on for a little while and then hopefully make it a reality in not too long. Okay, so let's talk a bit more about some of the practical things that went into this painting. So the first thing that I ran into, a bit of a speed bump with this one, is this panel is really thick, which is awesome. I love it. It has a lot of stage presence. I think it's like 2 inches thick, I think. But yeah, that means that when it came time to actually paint it, my hand was hovering in midair while I was trying to paint steadily, which obviously was not going to work. So I actually have these strips of panels that I had cut off to make a different sized panel a long time ago, and I kept all those, which actually came in really handy. So I just got a little stack of those till it was the same height as the panel, and that allowed me to rest my hand next to the panel while I was painting, and that way I could get the full range of motion without having to hold my hand steady in midair. So that was something that I was not anticipating, and then I luckily was able to find a solution to that fairly quickly. And I actually struggled so much with this painting, and not in a bad way. I don't feel like it was like an unpleasant experience, but I really did feel like there was just so many hang-ups, moments where I had to just sit and look at it and think through it. So there was a lot of time of standing still with this painting that I felt like I was not actually moving. And I think it's because I was trying out a lot of new things with this painting, which is exciting. It meant that I felt really engaged with the process of the painting. I didn't really feel bored with it, which was a very good step in the right direction. I've been feeling like I've been needing to work on leveling up my skills and the challenges that I'm giving myself. So in a lot of ways, the fact that this felt more challenging, it felt more like I really had to work through a lot of things. I think that it does mean that I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and that's good. But it does make me feel a little tired now that I'm all done with this painting. Like I need a little nap afterward. I've been trying to use more paints with my pieces. I have a decent collection of paint colors, but I found that over time I've just really narrowed what paints I use in my paintings. I just became really familiar with them. I knew how they behaved, so I used those. And I've been wanting to branch out more into the other paints that I own so that I can play more while I'm painting. I can get more varied results and feel more exploratory with them. And in this piece, I specifically used ultramarine pink for most of her dress, and I love this color. I loved how it mixed with Payne's gray, which I used for the bottom of the dress. but it does behave very differently from, say, my other pinks that I'll use. This one had a much more opaque quality to it, and it's actually kind of interesting because it feels like it almost clogs the paper, like it sits on top of it and doesn't really let other glazes on top of it sink into the paper. It was really interesting. So it meant that I got a lot of different results than I normally would. Things became a lot more textured as I layered on top of them to create the shadows on the character, and they were a lot more granulated. I found that every layer that I put on top of it also really reactivated that ultramarine pink, so that worked around and became more granulated. So it was a different experience, which I enjoyed. I really liked that, but it did mean that I had to work a little slower than I usually do because I had to adapt a little more as I was working with it. I also tried things a little bit differently with this glow effect in the hood behind the skull of the death figure. I have been trying to explore more with getting a glow effect with gouache, and I'm feeling more and more competent with that, but I think that it's gonna be a years-long process of figuring out and getting more comfortable with creating a really seamless glow. There are also a few things in the painting that I repainted because I didn't feel like I got it right on the first try. I painted the moths this bright turquoise color to match the skull's eyes and that glow effect. And that's what I had in my color comp, so it was my original plan, but I just didn't like the hierarchy of values that ended up with the piece. It just felt like they were competing too much with the skull, the death figure, and I wanted them to be more of a secondary element to the piece rather than fighting for one of the more focal points of the painting. So I actually took a picture of where the painting was at that phase, and I just did a quick little digital mock-up, and I painted over them black, and I liked it. So I did it in the real version, but that was kind of a hard decision to make because I actually did like how they looked in that turquoise color. So it wasn't that it felt bad or wrong, it just wasn't quite right. And I think that that's a lesson that I definitely need to learn, is that sometimes I need to get rid of the good and trade it for the better. Ultimately, I just really loved diving into this motif, focusing down on specifically Death and the Maiden and some of the classical interpretations of it that I could draw from. So I loved working on this one. It felt like it's springboarding me into new ideas, more pieces that'll be coming up. I feel really creatively charged from working on this piece, which is a very exciting feeling. And a quick reminder, this painting is available at my shop. There's a link down in the description that'll take you over there. So if you'd like the original painting, which I am so excited about, it just has a lot of presence on the wall where it's this really thick panel. I think that it just looks really demanding and exciting. But again, that link is down in the description, and I have prints as well, and that's also listed down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much to all of my incredible patrons for all of your support, and I'll see you guys next time.